I now have renewed faith in the system. When they first wanted to get my details and they said they'll contact me if they found it, I was like, yeah, sure, you'll contact me. But surely enough, they did. What are the chances? Very, very impressed. It is 4:30 in the morning. I don't know whose good idea this was, but I am waiting for my 5 a.m. ferry back to mainland, back to Surat Thani. Oh man, I slept in. I didn't even put my alarm on. I was literally sleeping and he just knocks on my door and I wake up. I'm like, holy shit, I gotta pack. So I rushed, packed in 5 minutes and then went in the car, and then now I've arrived. Oh my god, this is gonna be a mission of a day today. We are finally back on the mainland. 6:30, everything is running on time. For once. Literally just slept the whole way and just woke up, and now hopefully I could find the sign with my name, which is gonna be my 2-hour transfer from the port to Surat Thani Airport. Hello, how are you? Good morning. Only slowly coming back to life. Only slowly, just getting my bearings, but I have made it to Surat Thani Airport. I've been worried about this trip to Surat Thani for the whole week. I wasn't really sure how I was gonna get here to catch my 11 o'clock flight from Koh Samui, because a lot of the boats, there was no direct transfer. Online there was nothing that could take you from Koh Samui all the way here, and they arrive here around 8:30, 9 o'clock around this time. Because online you could get the package tours, you could get transfer to the port, then you could get the boat, and then from the boat get an organized transfer to either the train station, which is where I came from before, or the airport or somewhere else. But it would have been cutting it close if I did that to make it here at 11. So luckily I stopped by one of the tour shops who just did like organized it for me, like a customized time, because none of the big companies did it that early. And yeah, now here I am. Thank you. With my coffee. Now here I am, too early to check in now. I arrived here 3 hours before for a little domestic flight, so better safe than sorry. A lot of things can go wrong. It cost me about 2,500 baht, just over 100 bucks, $120 just to get myself from Koh Samui to here. So wasn't cheap, and the reason I did that was to save the flight costs. You can fly from Koh Samui straight to Bangkok. I decided to come back to Surat Thani because the direct flight from Koh Samui to Bangkok would have cost me $500, which is super expensive for a little domestic flight like that. So catching a flight from Surat Thani to Bangkok is only about 150, a lot cheaper, and then the transfer from Koh Samui to here was about 120, so that's about 270 bucks versus 500, so half the cost there. Last time was also really fun. Koi, who I actually met when I booked the elephant tour, she was nice enough to invite me to one of her workmates' dinner, and they just had a hot pot set up outside their store, so I just joined them for dinner, and yeah, I think it was just a really nice local way to spend my last night here in Thailand. Really cool, funny bunch of people. Didn't understand a word they were saying all night. They spoke very little English, and Koi didn't really translate for me, but I was just happy to be there, happy to just sit on the street and soak up the experience. So that was really fun. I ended up finishing kind of late. By the time I got back, it was like 1 a.m. or something like that, and I didn't pack. I just kind of lied down and slept. And yeah, bad mistake. I should really always be ready the night before. And then so I slept. Didn't even set my alarm. That was the dumb thing. I didn't even set my alarm. So didn't wake up. I remember waking up, looking at the time, and it was like 2:30, and I'm like, okay, good. I still have an hour and a half to sleep. And then stupidly slept again. Next thing I knew, tick tick tick. Hello. I'm like, fuck. Get up. Get ready. I'm like, okay, give me 10 minutes. I'll be out. So that was the rushed morning. Alright, made it back to Bangkok, but we are actually at the wrong airport. This is not the airport that my flight to Sydney leaves from. We are at Don Muang, and I actually had to come back here because if you guys remember, when I arrived here, I freaking left my bag of sweets before I exited customs after arriving from the Philippines. And funnily enough, you know, I went to Lost and Found, reported it, described it. They actually found it by the end of that day, so they've been holding it for me for the last week and a half, and I am back here to grab my bag of sweets. I am not going home without it because it's like 4 boxes of polvorons, it's pastillas, so I really want that to bring it home. And I spent like $50 on it, so I don't want to waste the money, and I've got time today, so this is why we are back at this airport. Hopefully they still have it, so I'm gonna go to the Lost and Found, grab it, and then we have to take an hour transit to the other airport, Suvarnabhumi, but we've got lots of time for that anyway. Oh my god, I just realized I made a stupid mistake. I always thought I left that my sweets package at Don Muang, but I actually left it at this airport. So that means I didn't actually have to catch a flight to Don Muang, and I could have just caught the flight from Surat Thani straight to here, which is where my flight to Sydney is leaving tonight. Oh my god, what was I thinking? What a wasted time. Seriously. I was walking around the airport before I left, and I'm like, this doesn't look familiar. This doesn't look like where I left my stuff. So yeah, I was really confused, and then when I looked at my flights and which airports were what, then I remembered and it made sense. So it's nearly 2 o'clock, at least I'm already here at the airport, and 6 hours to go to my flight. So just a tip, it is a free shuttle to go from both airports. They are about 40 minutes to an hour apart on other sides of the town of Bangkok City, but it is free if you show them your ticket. They give you a sticker somewhere under my bags, and it's free to transfer. Lost and Found, please have it. Hello.
Hello.
I just have a pickup at Lost and Found. Yes, perfect.
Moment, sir.
Oh my god, that is amazing. I got it. My Filipino sweets, my polvoron and pastillas. Yes. I now have renewed faith in the system. When they first wanted to get my details and they said they'll contact me if they found it, I was like, yeah, sure, you'll contact me. But surely enough, they did. What are the chances? Very impressed. Very impressed by Lost and Found here in Bangkok Airport. Good job, guys. Good job. This is what I'm talking about. Polvoron. This is my fave. So worth it. 3 boxes should last me a few weeks, maybe a few months hopefully. Alright guys, all checked in now. We are on the final stretch. Just having my dinner now. It is 6:30. Boarding is in an hour. Just smashed down my pad thai. So hungry, I didn't even get a photo of it. But yeah, I didn't even realize this wasn't even a direct flight to Sydney. I knew there was something funny that the travel time was like 15 hours or something. So I actually have a layover in Singapore. It's gonna take us 3 hours to get there around midnight.
About a 2-hour layover, and then we board at 2 a.m. and then it's a direct to Sydney, and I will get back home 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So excited to get back home. 2.5 weeks I've been on holidays. It kind of feels like a lot longer than that actually, since I landed in Manila and I started my trip in Davao. But it was really good nonetheless. Really fun. Good to check out what Davao was like, hike to the top of the Philippines, spend Christmas in the Philippines, and then New Year's in Thailand to finish off my trip. Normally I would do like how much this trip cost me. I would split the food, the accommodation, the transport, and give you guys a detailed breakdown. But I didn't really do it on this trip because other than I couldn't be bothered. I knew I was gonna spend a lot and I didn't really want to look at how much I was spending. But in total, I spent a whopping $8,200 on this 2.5 week trip in Southeast Asia. Oh my god, $8,200. And half of that was on flights. $4,000 was on flights. I brought $2,000 in cash with me here and it's all gone. And I just looked at my travel card. I spent about $2,300 on that card. It's really the flights that killed me this time. I was very indecisive towards the end of the year, and I literally booked my Philippines flight 2 weeks before I left, like in December, when I decided, yep, Philippines is the destination. And the one-way flight, the one-way ticket already cost me $1,700. You know, just traveling between Manila, Davao, back to Manila, Surat Thani, Bangkok. All the flights was 7 flights in a span of 2.5 weeks. So I wouldn't call that very smart traveling. I probably should have known better. But next time I definitely need to plan my flights and my destinations. I think if I was to look back, as fun as Thailand was, and as happy as I was to come back to Koh Tao and Koh Samui, from a money standpoint, I probably didn't need to be here. I probably could have spent, you know, most of the time in Davao, back to Boracay in the Philippines, maybe just choose one country for 2.5 weeks. There's no point spending 2.5 weeks over 2 countries and spreading yourself thin. So you definitely do waste a lot of time and money the more you move around. So something I will take on board for the next trip. But in any case, as I always say, the money always comes back, but the time and the experience is always worth it. I never regret spending that much money. Normally a trip like this would probably cost me $5,000 to $6,000, but $8,200 is definitely on the high end. I'm definitely gonna feel that when I get home. But anywho, I'm just gonna munch this down. Today actually went pretty quick despite being here for nearly 7 hours now. I did actually get a massage to kill some time, a dry massage. I didn't have the deep oil massage here, so that was a bit of a different experience. Just loosened up the back and the traps a little bit. So it is feeling a lot better. But yeah, we'll munch this down and then we'll make our way to the boarding gate.